6 video clips, 25 objects, 1 gunship, and a claim that, if it survives scrutiny, would rank among the most consequential imagery the Pentagon has ever put into the public record. On August 7, 2026, the Defense Department's fifth tranche of declassified, unidentified anomalous phenomena material reportedly included footage from an AC-130J Ghost Rider operating over the Gulf of Oman in September 2021. The accompanying assessment describes 25 objects, cold orbs on infrared, tracked between 250 and 1,300 miles per hour, and it describes something aircrews are not supposed to have to write down: objects that appeared to react to cannon fire. Context matters here. The All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office was created by Section 1683 of the fiscal year 2023 National Defense Authorization Act. Since 2024, it has published declassified case material in batches, imagery, resolved cases, and short analytic write-ups. These releases are not FOIA productions. They are curated. AARO decides what is releasable, what is redacted, and crucially, what format the public receives. Director John Koslowski told Congress in November 2024 that AARO had discovered no evidence of extraterrestrial beings, activity, or technology. Every tranche since has been read against that baseline and against the separate statutory push under the FY 2024 NDAA to move UAP records into a National Archives collection. The reported scenario: an Air Force Special Operations Command gunship on a night sortie over international water between Iran and Oman picks up multiple thermal contacts, not one. Reportedly 25, over an extended engagement window. The crew tracks them on the aircraft's electro-optical and infrared sensor suite. They appear as discrete, roughly spherical returns, colder than the surrounding sky rather than hotter. No visible exhaust plume, no wings. Geography is not incidental. In September 2021, the Gulf of Oman was among the most heavily surveilled and most drone-saturated maritime corridors on Earth. Weeks after the Mercer Street tanker attack was attributed to Iranian one-way attack drones, here is the part most coverage skipped. The 6 released clips are, by the Pentagon's own description, cell phone recordings of onboard displays, not raw sensor files, not the mission data recorder. Someone pointed a personal camera at a screen. That single fact reshapes everything downstream. Filming a monitor destroys or degrades the metadata layer that makes sensor video analytically useful. Precise timestamp, aircraft position and heading, sensor field of view, slant range to target, tracking mode, and polarity setting. What survives is a picture of a picture. It can be suggestive. It cannot, on its own, be measured. Apply the standard a court would. Under Federal Rule of Evidence 901, a recording must be authenticated. Someone must establish it is what it purports to be. Under Rule 1002, the original is preferred where contents are in dispute. A phone video of a display is a derivative copy with a broken chain of custody. We cannot confirm the display settings, the aircraft, the date, or whether frames were dropped by the phone's own compression. This is not an accusation of fabrication. It is a statement about what the artifact can support. Extraordinary kinematic claims require the original sensor file. That file, reportedly, was not released. The speed range is the weakest link in the chain, and it deserves the most attention. Infrared imagery does not measure velocity. It measures angular change, how fast something crosses the sensor's field of view. Converting that to a ground speed requires range, and range requires either a laser rangefinder return, radar correlation, or a validated parallax solution from a moving platform. AARO has previously demonstrated exactly this failure mode publicly. The Navy GOFAST video, long cited as a fast mover, was reassessed as a slow object made to look fast by parallax. A spread from 250 to 2300 miles per hour is not a measurement. It is a range of estimates whose underlying inputs have not been published. Cold orbs sounds anomalous. Technically, it is a statement about contrast, not temperature. Infrared sensors render thermal differential against background, and polarity can be inverted at the operator's discretion. An object cooler than the surrounding air column, an unpowered balloon, a drifting radio sonde, debris at altitude, will present exactly as a dark or cold sphere with no plume. That is a genuinely interesting observation, because it argues against a conventional jet or turboprop drone with a hot exhaust signature. But the absence of a heat source is equally consistent with something passive, buoyant, and slow, which loops directly back to the unresolved range problem. Then there is the detail that makes this incident procedurally distinct: the report of objects reacting to cannon fire. An AC-130J carries a 30mm GAU-23A and a 105mm howitzer. If a gunship discharged either at unidentified contacts over international waters, that is not merely a sighting, it is a weapons employment event. It would generate a mission report, an expenditure record, rules of engagement documentation, and almost certainly a review at the wing or component command level. Those documents are the corroboration that matters. Reacting is also an interpretive word. Coincident motion is not demonstrated causality, but a paper trail either exists or it does not. Read the assessment for its silences. Across the reporting on the 41 newly declassified files, the intelligence product reportedly does not assert non-human origin. It does not assert propulsion beyond known physics. It does not assert intelligent control. It characterizes the objects as unresolved. That is a meaningful designation. It means analysts could not close the case. But unresolved and anomalous are not synonyms, and the tranche as a whole should be assessed honestly. A minority of the files carry substantive imagery. Others are administrative, procedural, or duplicative. Volume is not the same as significance. So what is actually established? That U.S. air crews in a contested maritime corridor recorded contacts they could not identify. That the Pentagon has now placed derivative imagery of that event into the public domain. That the government's own analysts declined to resolve it. What is not established is speed, size, altitude, temperature, or origin, because the data required to establish them was not released. The correct demand is narrow and specific: the mission data recorder file, the sensor telemetry, the radar correlation, and the weapons expenditure records. Not more clips, better provenance. Until then, this is a serious anomaly with an insufficient evidentiary substrate, and saying so plainly is not skepticism. It is the standard.